Hey guys, glad you made it out. Ah, man, that was really rough. Let's recap. Jesus was betrayed. He was taken away, arrested for crimes he didn't even commit. No real crimes on record, really. He was roped, whipped, beaten, crown of thorns put on his head, robe ripped off him. He was put through a fake trial where even Pontius Pilate declared that he was innocent and handed over to the priests for whatever they wanted. You know, back in those days, one of the worst things Romans could do to any citizen was called crucifixion. You see, there was a death penalty in Rome for the worst offenders. We're talking political offenders. It's called crucifixion. What basically happened was, well, I guess you'll see soon enough. But essentially, what it is you carry the weight of your own death. And eventually, get staked to a cross. Now, when I say cross, I mean a big, big wooden cross that Jesus would have to carry all the way through the city of Jerusalem. He would carry it as crowds lined the streets yelling, "Crucify him, crucify him." When he stumbled and he couldn't go any further, the soldiers actually forced another man from the crowd to carry the cross the rest of the way. And by the rest of the way, I mean a hill called Golgotha. It means place of the skull. This is where they crucified Jesus. They stretched out Jesus' arms on the crossbar, and they took big nails and first hammered one of Jesus' hands into the cross. And then they nailed the other hand to the cross. Then they crossed Jesus' feet one over the other and hammered yet another nail through his feet into the cross. They left Jesus hanging there. It was the worst way for anyone to die. He hung there for hours and hours in terrible pain, and even then the Roman guards just made fun of him. They yelled, "He saved others, but he can't save himself. He trusted God, so let God rescue him now." You know, God could have saved Jesus. In fact, listen to this. We were in a different part of the garden yesterday, so we didn't hear it, but the Bible tells us that when Jesus was arrested, he said something incredible. He said, "Don't you realize that I could ask my Father for thousands of angels to protect me, and he would send them instantly?" Yeah, Jesus knew exactly what was going to happen to him, and he could have stopped it at any point. He could have stopped the arrest. He could have stopped the beatings. He could have stopped this crucifixion. Any time he could have said, "No, Father, I'm not willing to go through with this." But Jesus was willing. He went through all of that pain on purpose. And there are just a few reasons why. Reasons like you. Reasons like me. You are the reason Jesus went through all that pain. I am the reason. He knew that the wrong things we do would keep us away from God. God is perfect, but the wrong things we do, our sins, make us dirty and yucky inside, like trash. We can't be close to our perfect God when we're dirty from sin. Jesus knew that we can't get rid of those dirty sins on our own. Now think of something you've done recently. You don't have to say it out loud, of course. I'd like you to take a paper, like we did a couple days ago. I'd like you to take a paper and just write down some of those. You can pause here. Look at all those dark and ugly sins. Jesus knew the only way to get rid of them was for him to take our punishment, for him to take our sins to the grave with him. Jesus hung on that cross for you and for me. At noon, darkness fell across the land. The darkness lasted for 3 hours. Then Jesus cried out, and he died. At that very moment, the earth shook, and the rocks split apart. The guards were terrified of this earthquake. They yelled, "This man truly was the Son of God." Now later, Jesus' friends took his body down from the cross, and like Lazarus, wrapped him, oiled him, and they laid him in a new tomb. All of Jesus' friends went home. It was over. Jesus was dead. Now 3 days later, Jesus' friends went back to the tomb. The heavy stone in front of the tomb had been rolled away. Suddenly, there was a bright light inside the tomb. An angel said, "I know you are looking for Jesus, who was crucified. He isn't here. He has risen from the dead. Come, see where his body was laying." And sure enough, the tomb was empty. Jesus came back to life. Jesus died on the cross for our sins, and he came back to life to defeat sin and death forever. Because of him, our sins are forgiven. When we believe in Jesus, we can live with him forever in heaven. Jesus is alive.